Before we begin on what a ketogenic diet is, let's take a little trip back in history to see how we got to where we're at. Years ago, we've been told, eat less, move more. So let's do an example here. Let's assume someone is eating 2,000 calories. To maintain their weight, that means that they're burning 2,000 calories. So what we've been told in the past is eat less. So we go down to 1,500 calories. Sure, over the first week, 2 weeks, we lose some weight, but what happens is we plateau because your body adjusts and it starts burning 1,500 calories. So what do we do now? We go down to 1,200 calories. What happens? First week, 2 weeks, we lose some weight, your body plateaus, starts burning 1,200 calories, and we're right back where we started. Here we are, eating 1,200 calories, we're starving, we're irritable, we're not getting the results that we want, and what happens? We go back up to here. We start eating 2,000 calories again, our body is burning 1,200 calories, and our weight goes right back up to where it was at, and most of the time, it's been even more. So, if it's not an issue of calories, what is it? I think, from my research, it's an issue of hormones. And I think the main hormone is insulin. Now, we can't just narrow down on one hormone. There are many hormones, and your body is a very complex organism. So what we have to do is we have to start somewhere. And where we start is with insulin. Now, what is insulin? Insulin is something that is produced by your pancreas. When you eat foods, it goes up. So when I say insulin, I want you to think of fat storage. The higher your insulin is, the higher your fat storage. So what we want to do is control the insulin. If we decrease the amount of insulin that is produced, what's going to happen is we're going to have less fat storage, we're going to lose weight, and we're going to lose inches. So how do we control insulin? In our program, we do it by two different ways. We do it by what we eat and when we eat. First of all, what we eat. This is a graph of insulin production. Here is carbs. When we eat carbs, our insulin raises the highest. Next is your proteins. When we eat proteins, it goes up, but not as much as it does with the carbs. With fats, it barely goes up. So if we're looking at this graph and we think insulin is a key to weight loss because increased insulin, increased fat storage, what do we want to eat mostly of? We want to eat mostly fats. We want to eat a moderate amount of protein, and we want to limit our carbs. Now, a lot of people say this is like an Atkins diet. Well, it kind of is, but the problem with the Atkins diet is the protein and the fats are flip-flopped. So you can see when you start an Atkins diet, a lot of times you'll lose some weight, but you're kind of plateau because that protein is still making your body secrete more insulin. So this is what we eat. Down here is when we eat. In our plan, we incorporate something called intermittent fasting. And this is the reason why we do this. When we eat, your insulin level goes up, which is a normal response. That's what it's supposed to do. In 2 hours, your insulin level starts to drop if you haven't eaten anything. Again, in 10 or 12 hours, it starts going down again. At 16 hours, if that's when the first time that you eat, it goes back up. And then it starts the whole process of going back down over time. So all during this time right here, we have low insulin. And remember, low insulin, low fat storage. So as you go through this first week, what you're going to find is foods that's going to limit the amount of insulin that your body produces. And then in the second week, we're going to incorporate something we call intermittent fasting, and we'll have future videos on that to help you walk you through the steps with this. So I hope this explains some about what we do, and I hope that with this information, you can make the right choices.